You're listening to the Build Your Wealth podcast, episode number 25. It's scary, the fear of the unknown coupled with self-doubt. Today I'm going to tell you how you can conquer your fears of starting your own business. Ugh, it's that time of day again. Time to get up and make someone else rich. Hi there and welcome to the Build Your Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Thompson. Over the years, I've taken the skills I've learned as a dedicated employee in multiple fields and turned it into a thriving six-figure online business to create a wealth of my own. Now I'm here to teach you how to do the same thing. I share my successes and failures as an online business owner with you to help you avoid the pitfalls that can come with being an entrepreneur in the online space. It's my goal to help you achieve your success faster, adopt the right mindset for that success, and to show you how failing forward is all part of the process in building your wealth instead of someone else's. This is the Build Your Wealth podcast. Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Build Your Wealth podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm your host, Nicole Thompson. And today we're talking about conquering your fears of starting your own business. No matter what your age or experience level, it takes raw courage to be able to pull that dream out of your head and breathe life into it. And then there's the added pressure of becoming successful, because you may feel like you're not just proving this to yourself, but by putting your dreams out there, you're shining a spotlight on your vulnerability, which can often make you question the validity of your idea to begin with. Identifying your fears and their triggers will help you step out of the shadows and step into your greatness. The hardest thing is often just finding the courage to take that first step. And the way to do that is to completely and wholeheartedly believe in yourself and commit to making your dream a reality. But how do you do this? Well, let's face it, there may be a lot of self-work that needs to happen here first. Conquering any fear starts in your own mind. By determining what triggers each fear, you can then approach each one of them from a different angle and look at them from a new perspective. Once you identify what your fears are, the next step to conquering them is to, and you're probably not going to like what I have to say here, but you need to face those fears head on by doing the exact thing that scares you. Are you afraid to go live on social media? Set up your phone, think of 3 to 5 things to say, and go live. Your first video can totally suck, and most likely your first few will, but you're not going to die. Trust me, my first live video, I literally almost passed out because my heart was pounding so loudly. I swear I could hear it in my breath. So what did I do? Oh, I just held my breath. Not smart. My first video was dark and shaky and lasted about 30 seconds. And yes, I did almost pass out, but I didn't die. Maybe you're afraid to post a pic of yourself on social media. Well, I bet you can guess what I want you to do next. Yep, you guessed it. Snap a pic and post it. Doing the things that scare you is literally the only way you'll ever overcome those fears. The next thing you need to do to get started on building your own business is to set yourself up with attainable goals. Because let's face it, if you're listening to this podcast, you've got some big dream that needs to come to life. But there's no way you can build an award-winning website and have 10,000 followers on Instagram by tomorrow. It's going to take time to build that audience, and that's perfectly okay. Your dreams can be as big as you want them to be, but you need to reach for the low-hanging fruit in the beginning. If you want to grow your email list and Facebook fan page and your Instagram followers to 10,000, you need to aim for 10 to start. Once you hit 10, your new goal needs to be 20, then 50, and 100, and so on. By setting attainable goals, you're constantly giving yourself the assurance you need by reaching small wins that eventually will snowball and grow into your big goals. If you set your sights on the big prize too early on, you'll likely end up getting discouraged and giving up before you even reach it. One of my favorite sayings is, if you're always reaching for the stars, you just might miss the moon. Remember to take the time to celebrate your victories, big and small alike. As entrepreneurs, we all too often get so caught up in chasing the next big idea that we completely forget to stop and appreciate what we've accomplished so far. If I stop and think today about where I started, really stop and think about it, it's amazing to me when I think about what I've accomplished so far. So never forget to stop and appreciate what you've done to date, and really stop and think about how you started and where you are today. No one ever runs before they walk. So remember that you're not any less qualified to chase your dreams because you're just starting out. You just need to learn what steps to take to get there. So your big question may initially be, where do I even begin? Well, not to be completely blunt here, but the best place to start is the beginning. So you're going to start small, and you're going to start with what you know. The most important thing you need to do is just start. It does not have to be perfect. In fact, that perfectionism can bring any progress you could ever have to a screeching halt. Your new mantra needs to be progress over perfection. Not knowing where to start can be stifling too, because there's so much information out there. This is where joining groups of like-minded people on social media can open up a whole new world for you. In these groups, you'll find entrepreneurs at all levels. People like you who are just starting out, intermediate level business owners who may have been at this a while but are still figuring it out, and then there's the seasoned pros who've got this stuff on lock and they just want to share it with the world. And there are so many YouTube videos with step-by-step how-tos and tutorials to teach you everything you could ever possibly need to know right now for free. And of course, there are teachers with full digital courses that can show you how they do what they do that you can sign up for as well. One of my biggest mistakes in the beginning was trying to do this alone. It took me 10 times longer than if I'd just given in and just admitted that I could use some help and advice from someone who's been down this road before me. Once I started reaching out for them, my whole world of business changed for the better. Another question you may have is, what type of business can I create? Well, that, my friend, is completely up to you. This is where your creativity and passions collide. Because with all of the technology we have at our fingertips, you can literally turn any passion into profits. You can create a business of your own design. You can follow a template, or you can step away from the cookie cutter type business and make something that's completely your own. That's where your dreams get to come to life. My advice to you is to take some quiet time to yourself and write down your passions. Write down the top 5 to 10 things you absolutely love that bring the most joy to your life. Once you have a list, start playing with ideas on how you can turn your passions into profits. Then head on over to Google and YouTube and see how you can get started on creating the business of your dreams. Okay, and now for the big question I see the most. What if I'm an introvert? I'm too shy to put myself out there. Well, to that I say, you can power through that too. I am living proof because I'm one of the most introverted people around. Truth be told, I prefer my alone time way more than I enjoy being out and about. But I made the decision a long time ago that what I wanted my future to look like was more important to me than staying comfortable. That if I wanted my life to look like the one I had pictured for myself, I was going to need to let go of some of my insecurities, whether it was hard to do or not. And that, my friend, is where you truly make the most progress. In letting go of your fears and stepping out beyond your comfort zone lies your true potential. Because let me ask you this, how comfortable are you really in your comfort zone? Because I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that if you were truly comfortable there, you wouldn't be looking to start your own business in the first place. You're here because you want something more. You're here because your dreams are bigger than your wallet right now, and you're never going to get there in a traditional 9 to 5. So I'll leave you with one last thing to think about. What's more important to you? Staying comfortable, avoiding your fears, or facing those fears and finally reaching your dreams? I hope you join me again next week for another episode. I'll talk to you then. You've been listening to the Build Your Wealth podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you don't miss an episode by subscribing to the show. I've included any links to specifics mentioned in the show notes section below, so you can easily grab them there. I hope you'll consider leaving a review for me and let me know what you thought about the show, and if it helped you or resonated with you in some way, I'd love to hear about that too. Thanks again, and I'll see you over on the next episode to your success.